super pumped. I started racing at 11 years old here, and that's where it all begins. So I'm just super excited, and can't thank everyone at FRL Express, Société Louis-Jacques, and everyone that support us.
I've seen a lot of videos done by other creators while browsing YouTube about what driver I think might be the future star of NASCAR. I've seen videos on Derek Kraus, on Haley Deegan, and hey, even Natalie Decker got some love from a few YouTubers. However, there is a driver that I really do think has flown under the radar, and that driver is Canadian Raphael Lessard. I'm Alex Gallagher, and on this first edition of After the Flag, we'll be taking you through the career of one of Canada's most promising rising stars in the world of NASCAR, a driver who has come out of seemingly nowhere to take the world of American motorsports by storm. Sit back, strap in, and enjoy the ride. And by the end of this video, I hope to have an answer to the question, is Raphael Lessard Canada's next racing superstar? Well, stick around and find out. Lessard started racing at the age of 12 and found immediate success, winning his first career race in really any motorsport series on his 12th birthday in an old Honda Civic. Lessard's early success caught the eye of both Toyota Racing Development and David Gilliland Racing, who fielded a 14-year-old Lessard in the Cars Super Late Model Tour. Lessard's debut season in the Cars Tour would prove to be one of the most successful seasons in Cars Tour history. Lessard would go on to score his first Late Model Tour win at Hickory, before following that up a few weeks later winning at Concord and Myrtle Beach, before sealing up the championship after winning at Kenley at the age of 15. Lessard's championship season would finish with 4 wins, 8 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 1 pole, and 157 laps led. Lessard would go on to become the youngest Cars Tour champion in series history. The following season, Lessard would run 5 of the Tour's 13 events, picking up a win at Hickory. And in 2018, despite missing the final race of the season and winning at Bristol, Lessard would go on to finish that season in 4th place running in Kyle Busch Motorsports equipment.
Here comes Fogelman, drive off, turn 2, he close right in on Lessard. He'll get underneath Lessard, he'll move him out of the way, and they touch! They nearly lock fenders. And now Tate Fogelman has a tire rub on the right front. Raphael Lessard has the bodywork caved in on the left rear. 15 laps to go, and the top 2 have just about taken each other out.
Following all of his late model success, Lessard continues to remain active in the world of late model racing, running the All-American 400, the Winchester 400, the Snowball Derby, the American and Canadian Short Track Nationals, and despite some very strong runs in all of these events, Lessard has still yet to pick up a win in any of these crown jewels. With help from Toyota Racing Development, Lessard was scheduled to make his ARCA Menards Series debut at Nashville in 2017 for Venturini Motorsports. However, after suffering mechanical problems, Lessard's debut was pushed back a race to Salem. Lessard would go on to finish 13th in that event, which earned him one final start of that season, a 10th place finish at Winchester. 2019 saw Lessard swap from Venturini Motorsports to KBR Development. Making 3 starts in that season, Lessard would finish 4th at the first Pocono, 5th at the second Pocono, but his most standout performance would come at the second race of the season at Pensacola. Duking it out with rising stars Christian Eckes and Chandler Smith, as well as ARCA Menards Series favorites Michael Self and Brett Holmes, Lessard would go on to lead 83 laps and go on to finish 8th.
As we see the 17-year-old Raphael Lessard, you mentioned last year running for Kyle Busch Motorsports, had a good season, a few wins in the super late models, the Redbud 400 at Anderson, the U.S. Short Track Nationals at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it says a lot about his maturity as well. I talked to some of the team members last year at Kyle Busch Motorsports. They said Raphael's come a long way. He got signed on Toyota's docket a couple years ago, and he's only, at his age, he's got a lot ahead of him, but he's just 17 years of age now. He has the pressure there, but he also has the ability.
It was announced earlier that season that Raphael Lessard would make his NASCAR Pinty Series debut at his home track at Autodrome Chaudière. Driving the number 07 Société Louis-Jacques FRL Express Dodge prepared by Dumoulin Competition, Lessard was poised for a strong debut where his plan was just to lead as many laps as he could and have some fun. However, none of the fans in the stands that day knew exactly the historic performance Lessard was about to put on. Taking the lead early from team boss LP Dumoulin, Lessard would go on to lead 153 laps of that event before the rains came and Lessard would make history, becoming the first driver in Pinty Series history to win in his series debut.
Welcome back to Autodrome Chaudière, and while NASCAR cleaned up the oil from the Dumoulin and Hathaway wreck, rain has moved in, and NASCAR has called the race as Raphael Lessard in his first NASCAR start has won the Budweiser 300.
And you can see the view from where Raphael sits. That would have been a tough one to go back to green.
checkered flag waves, and it's official now. Lessard, your winner.
Thank you, guys. Awesome job.
The last time that had happened, Don Thompson Jr. winning the very first NASCAR Pinty Series race in 2007. Unfortunately for Don Thompson Jr., it was everyone's first race, so Lessard gets the record. All of Lessard's racing merits had been making waves down south, where he had inevitably caught the eye of two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Busch, who signed the youngster to his development program in both the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series as well as the late model program. Lessard would go on to run 3 different trucks in the 2019 season: the 46 Spectra Premium Toyota for Kyle Busch, the number 17 RestoDynamique.com FRL Express Toyota for DGR Crosley, as well as the number 54 FRL Express Toyota for DGR Crosley. In Lessard's debut, he would cement himself as a force to be reckoned with. Qualifying 7th at Martinsville, he would go on to finish 14th in the Kyle Busch Motorsports truck, before following that up with an 11th place finish at Dover. Lessard would score his first top 10 finish in the truck series, filling in for Tyler Ankrum at Iowa, where he would go on to finish 9th. He would then follow that up with a 12th place at Bristol, running for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
I love Raphael Lessard. He's sitting there watching all this thinking, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I better get on through here. He caught this battle. Now trying to get around Sauter. I think Creed's holding him up a bit.
And, we talked a lot about 16-year-old Chandler Smith today, but Lessard in that 17 truck is only 17 years old. He made his first 2 starts this season with Kyle Busch Motorsports. In fact, tested here at Iowa with KBM, running the DGR Crosley truck here today.
However, Lessard's most eventful race would come in the form of his debut on the road course at his home track at Canadian Tire and Motorsport Park. After spinning out early, Lessard would rebound and finish for his second top 10 finish driving the 54, usually driven by Natalie Decker. Lessard's season was good enough for owner Kyle Busch to reward him with his first full-time ride in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series. Lessard would be piloting the number 4 truck vacated by Todd Gilliland. That number 4 truck has been immensely successful in its season in the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series, winning championships and countless races with both Eric Jones and Christopher Bell. Under the control of Eric Jones, the truck logged 3 wins, 11 top 5s, 20 top 10s, 5 poles, 925 laps led, as well as the championship. Meanwhile, under Christopher Bell, the Ford truck logged 6 wins, 24 top 5s, 38 top 10s, 5 poles, and 1,069 laps led, as well as taking home the 2017 Camping World Truck Series championship. However, the truck has seemed to slide a bit downhill ever since Todd Gilliland took it over, where Gilliland just has not had any luck in that car whatsoever. If Todd Gilliland had any luck driving the Ford truck, it was no luck at all. Crashing at Texas and at CTMP after being so close to wins at both those facilities, Gilliland finally broke through, winning the fall race at Martinsville in the Truck Series, his first win in the series and a long-awaited celebration. Lessard will be joined full-time at Kyle Busch Motorsports by Christian Eckes, the 2019 ARCA Menard Series champion. He will also be joined by Stuart Friesen, who moves from Chevrolet to Toyota under Kyle Busch Technical Alliance. Chandler Smith will be another driver who will join the KBM camp. He's also someone who I will talk about in a future video. He will also join the team on a part-time basis. And you can also probably assume that drivers like Riley Herbst and Brandon Jones and even boss man Kyle Busch himself will get some time in the trucks this season, so Lessard and his rookie teammates are in well good company to learn from some of the best in the industry. If there is one thing Raphael Lessard is known for across his many forays of different kinds of racing, it's his aggressive driving style. He's not afraid to mix it up with rookies and veterans alike, but nonetheless, the young Lessard isn't phased, mixing it up in the truck series with the likes of Matt Crafton, Johnny Sauter, and Ross Chastain, as well as Pinty Series favorites LP Dumoulin, Andrew Ranger, Donald Teague, and DJ Kennington. 4 guys who have a combined near half-century of racing experience. But the young Lessard isn't phased. He sees them as just another competitor.
Here's Lessard in the 46.
Here's Sauter in the 13.
Yeah. And right there, Johnny feels like he's got him, but Lessard does.
I think Johnny was premeditated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's just going to hit him. It was a lap before.
One of my favorite moments of Raphael Lessard's season this year was his intense battle at Bristol with Hailie Deegan in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series. Lessard executed what I consider a textbook bump and run. Take a look and see for yourself.
He's almost side by side now, going into 3. Gave her a little tap. He tapped her and she wobbles, but she rights the ship and keeps going. But Lessard tapped her and got around her.
Despite the stereotype that Canadians are generally considered very calm and polite, Lessard isn't afraid to get aggressive and use the bumper when he has to, a lesson he learned in his short track days running with some very successful late model drivers up in the north of Quebec. However, in every series Lessard races, he's able to be just as aggressive as he needs to be in order to get the win.
It really is. It jumps out at you in a hurry, as we've seen a couple drivers get close to it. So far, nobody into it.
Coming off of turn number 4, Raphael Lessard going to lead his first lap in the NASCAR Pinty Series.
How about that for the rookie? Up on the outside, he goes around your defending series champion.
Canadian motorsports has been an interesting gray area. Canada's turned out an F1 champion of Jacques Villeneuve. IndyCar superstars Greg Moore, Paul Tracy, Alex Tagliani, and James Hinchcliffe. But in terms of NASCAR, Canada really lacked a mainstream superstar, because unfortunately for every Ron Fellows and Stuart Friesen, there was a Patrick Carpentier and Cameron Haley to kind of even it out. Lessard is aiming to be Canada's first mainstream Cup Series superstar, and with Lessard's skills, talents, and accolades, there's a good chance he might accomplish just that. Lessard became just the 6th Canadian to be featured in the NASCAR Heat video game series in his number 46 Spectra Premium Toyota. Oh yeah, and by the way, Raph, sorry for the 12 or 13 times I may have wrecked you trying to win Most Sport. Hey, chase race, I won a championship, so it was a worthy sacrifice. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. The answer to the question, is Raphael Lessard Canada's next great racing superstar? And after what we looked at today, I think it's safe to say in the verdict that Raphael Lessard is shaping up to be Canada's next great racing superstar. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning into this very first edition of After the Flag. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and share the video, because believe me, it really does help me out. And if you want to see more NASCAR content and learn more about the sport, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit that bell icon at the bottom so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I'm Alex Gallagher, and this has been the first edition of After the Flag. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again in the next video.